Okay, so this is part one. I'm gonna try out two. So I just don't, because I did order for this month's books. I did order some books from third-party sellers, and it's not a guarantee that even the dates they give me, they're all like the 30th. Like one of them actually is the 30th to the 2nd of next month. So it's the 30th of January to the 2nd of February. And I just decided when I'm doing something like that to at least get the books that get the books that I can show off that I get from Amazon themselves, show those off first. And luckily with this one, they're all the same, not all the same series, well, three of them are, and one of them's different series. They're all that series, like it's all of that, all the books in that series I have right now. So it's not like, oh, volume 11 of this series you'll get next week, when that comes in. No. But it's not everything that I got for this month, which is nice, because it's gonna be a good amount. Be making up for not getting so much. You'll see. First one, so these are all, well, one of them I've read all the way through, and the other one I've read half of the compendium. They're technically it's two compendiums technically, and then two regular volumes. This is the technically a compendium, and that is Paper Girls: The Complete Series. This is one that I've actually read this edition too, which is nice because Image Comics and any publisher with compendiums, they're basically soft cover omnibuses. In fact, most of them come with more than an omnibus will. Your average omnibus is like 1,000 pages, and one of them actually I have is 1,300 pages. So that is more than your average omnibus. But your average compendium, I would say, is around the size of your average omnibus. But still, it's a soft cover omnibus. So I have read this before in this edition, and it read just fine. Now, as for like minor bumps and bruises, there's some minor bumps and bruises here, but nothing too like. Honestly, I think what I should start doing is saying, look at this book from afar. Like right here, my bed is like, right here, and I'm looking at the book. So it's not that I can still see the print, like it's not too far off to where I can't see the print, but it's like far enough to where I can't see minor bumps. That's what I should say from now on. The only one that this one right here, the only time I'd hate it is if it shows off on the book itself. It does not. Now this is really cool, but it comes with this little slipcase thing. I would not use it as a bookmark. I did when I got my library's copy, and it proved to not work when I got to the middle of the book. So it's kind of completely useless. Oh, and there's them right here too. Very minor bumps. But the reason why I'm not like fuming right now is because I expect it to be a lot worse. Amazon, when they ship big books like this, you're gonna have some bumps and bruises. And for a bigger book like that was gonna be like, uh-oh, now what? Not now what? It's like, uh-oh, that's gonna be even worse. But thankfully, I'm looking at it, and there's nothing really major. Now this one is absolutely spectacular. I will be definitely watching the TV show now that I have the book. Yes, and as I said before, they did have this in my library, and this is the exact edition, but this is such a good series, I had to own it myself. Oh, and there's no sticker here that says, now a Prime Video series. But this is all 30 issues. Yeah, all 30 issues of this series. This next one is written by Brian K. Vaughan with artwork by Cliff Chiang. Cliff Chiang's artwork, I've been reading his, Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chiang's Wonder Woman run from New 52. And he's one of those artists that you can tell it's a Cliff Chiang illustrated book, because he has like that kind of like, I don't even know what you'd call it, but when I was reading Wonder Woman, I look at the artwork, I'd be more observant of it, and I'd be like, yeah, that if you put that in Paper Girls, in like the background, I wouldn't, of course, put like Wonder Woman in the background. I would definitely see it. But like the baby is a baby in the book. If you put a baby in the background, or put a baby as an Easter egg in like a baby stroller in one scene, I would not immediately click. It would not immediately click for me. And that's a good thing. I would say it's a good thing, because it's not like, oh, he's so like all it's the same. No, I mean it's an artist, not an author, This is a very, very good series. I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is one of those series that I would like binge read. Oh, I didn't say that for I did an Instagram post. I'm doing today, because I'll do it today. I've been trying to do daily Instagram posts, but this is one I read before. Absolutely enjoyed it. So yeah, and also the artwork too. I'm gonna do it because I was just talking about the artwork. So it's kind of like this, you know, kind of I guess you could say cartoony, but very, very damn good book. Sadly, only one season, and it got canceled. Probably because it was too damn ambitious. The series goes like the comic series goes in like completely different route. I don't think the TV show does. Then we have the magnum opus that is Saga, the compendium. Now, I have this on the Kindle. I got this on the Kindle back in 2020 during the pandemic. That was before we even knew there was going to be that the series was coming back. So I was like, okay, I have all Saga. That's good. And I started reading it, and I really enjoyed it. It was one of those series I was reading back to back to back. But then I stopped when I found out that the series was coming back, so I didn't want to finish it because that's like the like you could say like, oh well, you'd probably forget about it. You distract yourself with other comics, and you could make that argument. A lot of books that I have that I've said that with, that's very true. Like Department of Truth, I could probably distract myself with other comics and be like, yeah, I still want to catch up on that series. Like say the next issue comes out, it comes back. But Saga is not one of those series. Saga is like the absolute magnum opus. I would say of Image Comics too. Like it's up there with The Walking Dead as my with my favorite comics of all time. And I haven't even finished this compendium yet. I think I got to where, I shouldn't say I got to where because that's going to be a spoiler, but I got, let's see, flipping through it if I can tell. Let's say around here, because I'm seeing like a lot of, let's say, I know I've at least read the first 2 arcs. This is not technically a spoiler because it's just a character, but there's a black lady in the comic that is very similar to one in the Star Wars movie. I believe it was Star Wars Episode 9. And when I saw the trailer, I was like, hey, that's funny. She looks like the girl from Saga. Like, it had the same, like, look to her. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not saying that, you know what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that, but what I'm trying to say is they both look very similar. But obviously, I could tell there was a difference. And this collects the first 54 issues of Saga. And I'm going to show you my artwork. Artist here is Fiona Staples. Oh, can't show that. I can show this though. Very carefully though. I'm just gonna do it very quickly so you guys can pause. I don't want to stretch this book out too much. What I am going to do is, and this is kind of like, well, why don't you buy the book yourself? Is I'm going to read when I read this book again. I'm going to read it off the Kindle. I know it's why did I get the $30 compendium if I'm not going to utilize it, but it's because I wanted to. Obviously, I got the next 2 volumes. I'm a completist. Obviously, I got the next 2 volumes that are available from Saga, and having volume 10 and 11 on my shelf would look really dumb, in my opinion, at least. And then, as I mentioned before, volumes 10 and 11 of Saga. Completing the series thus far. Now, volume 11 was vacuum sealed. I think that's what the Super Setter. I think that's what it's called. They had it had it in plastic wrap. And what's ironic is this has the most bumps on it, like this right here. It's like, why even bother doing that to begin with? And it's possible it was when I was taking it out, because they do it very tightly. It's possible when I was taking it out, I made that up myself. And it's just like, again, like I said before, it's just shelfware, you know? I don't know why I get so... And yeah, it's on the opposite ends. I have books on my shelf like this, not like this. I have it the right way, but still. Like, what's the difference when it's on one end and it's on the other, even then? Volume 10 collects... Nice, the latest 6 chapters. Thank you for telling me that. It already is, let's see if this one says it. Nope. Because you already date yourself with volume 11. Now, I'm almost positive there's not going to be a, this isn't over, there's going to be a volume 12. So, there's nothing about it yet. 55 to 60 for volume 10, and then 60 to 66 for volume 11. Now, again, even volume 10, oh, it's a bump here. Oh my god, a big bump here. Look at this. Right there. I don't know how they manage that sometimes. That's fine. That's just on the cover. It shows a bit on the book itself, but yeah, I hate that. Here, let's see. Yeah. Once you get to the book itself, it doesn't show anymore. I'm not gonna wait for Amazon, even though I'm still waiting on books. I'm not gonna wait for them to return it to me or give it to me. You know, the new copy, replacement copy. It's not ripped, right? No, okay. But there we go. There's a little bump stuff. But that's honestly like that's what I had to deal with if I got it very good and probably very good at getting better condition. But that's that as I say is that just a quick video going over a few books, 10 minutes, ad revenue, if I was monetized. But that's a joke that people make, like, oh, your video's 10 minutes long, and sometimes they'll stretch it out to make it 10 minutes, because that's how you get that's how you get ads, and back then at least, I don't know if it's still the same, and then you get money, so, like, it's a bare minimum, basically, but that's it, Saga and Paper Girls, and then obviously, because I'm a completist with Brian K. Vaughan, I obviously got the rest of his Image Comics work, except for two. The two that I didn't get were ones that they're like widescreen comics. I don't have a widescreen comic to show you what I mean by that, but basically it was Echolands. When I showed you guys that book, I don't like widescreen comics. Just it's impossible for me to read them. It's basically like, here, I'll show you an example. It's basically like this. Instead of this, it's like this, and you're reading it like, and it's obviously it opens from this side, you know. So it's like I can't show like a good example of it, but you're basically reading it like that, I guess is the best way to describe it. And it's really impossible to read it like that. And one of them was out of print too. It's like $100 if I wanted to get if I wanted to get it in good condition. Yeah, it's hardcover, but still, I was like, nope, not paying for that. That's it.